Oh no, my photo stand falls down.
Why does it fall off the shelf?
Do you know what force acts on the photo stand that makes it fall onto the ground? When an apple is released, it will fall onto the ground. This is because there is a force of gravity acting on the apple. Where does this force come from? The force of gravity was discovered by Sir Isaac Newton in the 17th century. He found that any two objects attract each other with this force, even when they are separated by a distance. In other words, the force of gravity is a non-contact force. With the force of gravity, the Earth pulls every nearby object towards its center. That is why we can stand on the ground but not floating in the air. As the force of gravity is a non-contact force, objects in the air will also be attracted by the Earth. Let us carry out the following experiment to study the effect of the force of gravity.
In this experiment, you will study how the force of gravity affects the motion of a free-falling object. Fix the motion sensor on the retort stand so that it faces the ground. Switch on the data logger program and select Display Distance Time Graph. Hold the wooden block just below the motion sensor. Start recording data. Release the wooden block from rest. After the block reaches the ground, stop recording data. Refer to the distance time graph. It is not a straight line. Thus, the motion of the wooden block is not uniform. From the results, we can conclude that a force acts on the wooden block. The force points in the downward direction.
The force of gravity pulls the objects in the air towards the center of the Earth. When we throw a basketball upwards, it is pulled downward by the force of gravity. As a result, it falls back onto the ground. A more massive object can attract objects nearby with a larger force of gravity. The force of gravity acted by very massive objects like the Earth, the Moon and the Sun can be very strong. For example, the force of gravity between the Sun and the Earth is strong enough to keep the Earth moving about the Sun. In fact, we also attract every object nearby, but this force is too weak to be noticed.